goes, and we're going to have Nip going up against N Faculty as the bands come on through. It's going to be Ziggs, Cassidy, Aurelia, and Jax.
Where have I seen that before, Egad? I think we saw it a few times in the last best of 3 as well. Similar bands, top tier bands, and do not want to have to deal with any of them. Now, NIP and Faculty are two pretty big EU Challenger teams. Both were in DreamHack Summer as well. NIP won the whole thing, and Faculty finished with SK Gaming Prime in the 3rd, 4th slot. So both these teams got far in the tournament, and I actually think this is going to be a really close best of 3 series.
True that. So the last two bands going to come on through. It's going to be Lucian and Kale. And it's going to be Lulu, possibly up top for Alex, or the Power of Evil could take it into mid lane. We'll have to see. But there's plenty of options left open for that pick. Pretty safe pick nonetheless, if you don't want to give anything away. You know, she just flip-flops in whatever lane she wants to go into. Prawn Baron, obvious. What are they going to look for is the real question. They could just go for a safe support in Thresh or Morgana or something like that. Braum is available too, so got to keep an eye out for that one as he kind of slid on through the bans there since they targeted Aurelia away from Prawn Bear. They could go for a jungler as well. Lee Sin is still available. Elise, all those very strong junglers. They have 10 seconds, so they have to be pretty quick with what they want to pick here. And it looks like it'll be Thresh and Shyvana.
So, interestingly enough, again, Power of Evil is more, I assume, subbing in for Exiler in mid, who is normally NIP's mid laner. So, he plays a lot of Syndra. That is his main champion. He is known and feared for his Syndra play, so it's going to be quite interesting to see if he does get that one this game. I would assume that Alex will be playing Lulu at top, but obviously some of those answers are going to be given to us in a few moments.
Yep, so Ko going to be able to get his Lee Sin jungle. Meanwhile, Freeze potentially going to be getting his AD carry here as they hint at Graves or Draven or Ezreal, either one. Looks like they're hovering over Graves for, not Graves, or Draven for quite the while, so could look for that for him. But, wow, all right, I was going to say something about it being an interesting pick, but they do lock it in, and Draven is going to be the carry for Freeze.
Yeah, and this goes back quite a long way. When they were in Heimerdinger's Colossi, Freeze used to play Draven all the time. And I mean, every single time it was open. This is back when Draven's old passive was OP, like really OP. But he's an incredibly good Draven player. He's very good at making it work in team fights. He's very good at positioning. So he plays a lot of Draven, a lot of Twitch as well. So this isn't a huge surprise seeing him lock in with Draven. Against Thresh, though, could be a problem, depending on how the hooks are going to land out from Mountain, who is the support player for In Faculty. So let's have a look at how that one works.
They just changed something about him, too. They fixed a bug with Draven. It's a bug where Draven could no longer throw a spinning axe if he caught it. So he'll be able to, I guess, chain 3 together pretty well now, since that bug is gone. And he couldn't throw one if he primed it in the middle of an attack animation, so... Or primed it. So I guess it feels like it'll be more crisp to catch and throw axes. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen too many Draven players just yet. But N Faculty will pick up the Orianna and the Elise. So there is their jungle, mid, and top pick. So just saving that 80 carry last for Steelback.
Yep, so Elise is going to be locked in here for In Faculty. And back over towards NIP. Now, obviously, I'm a few seconds behind you with watching the stream here, Egad. Has anything been locked in? Because it's going to be their mid and support, I'm assuming.
It was the mid and jungle. They got the Orianna and the Elise, and Nip now got their mid and support, just like you said. It's going to be the Yasuo and Morgana.
Okay, Morgana is just ideal for Draven for the same reasons. It's ideal with Twitch as well. Black Shield is going to mitigate everything Thresh throws at her, and Yasuo we've already seen in the previous game for What the Fox. You know, you give him a few kills and he's just going to run rampant. So, yeah, understandable pick. Very strong composition already from NIP, I got to say.
Yeah, very strong. They have quite a few knockups to proc up Yasuo's ultimate. Stand aside, kick, and wild growth coming in from Lulu. Not to mention, Yasuo's own knockup in itself. So quite the stuff to get that guy rolling. Looking for the 80 carry though from In Faculty. Looking at Kog'Maw Graves, and it's going to be the Kog'Maw locked in.
All right, so another Kog'Maw. We saw it in the previous best of 3 as well. Didn't end up working out, although there was a pretty heavy composition built to just destroy him. But I gotta say again, picking Kog'Maw against Yasuo is a pretty scary situation to be in, because we've already seen gets knocked up in the air, and then instantly last breath comes in, and you're almost dead before you even start to auto attack.
Yeah, so gotta be careful for. Actually, with the Bloodthirster changes, is he gonna go for a Bloodthirster on Draven? That's something I want to see. Because Draven with the Blade of the Rune King, not something you ever see. And it's gonna be mid Lulu and top Yasuo for Alexich. I like the lineups from both sides. I like the synergy with the knockoffs from Nip, and Faculty have a very solid lineup overall. Good CC, good kiting for Kog'Maw, and even better peel for him. If he gets to late game, it'll be very scary. But we're hitting that 3-minute spectator delay, so we'll go to a quick commercial break. But before that, check out probuilds.net to find the latest and greatest of the upcoming builds, especially with the new patch from the pro players, as well as check out Logitech gaming peripherals. They have the best headsets, mice, and keyboards that you can find. And we'll be Alright guys, welcome back here to what is going to be game 1 of Ninjas in Pyjamas versus N Faculty. I'm EGA, going to be Killcast, with me is going to be Metas, and we're out to the Rift. We're already ready to go. That miraculously cool new Draven skin is on here to be displayed, and there's a pink ward picked up by Obvious, so gonna see where he wants to put that. But other than that, I don't think we're going to see any crazy invades.
No, Primetime Draven though. I'd love to see this skin. It's a pretty awesome one as well. 975 RP for like new voices and stuff is pretty crazy actually. But either way, it is going to be Freeze on Draven. We spoke about this in Champion Select, very comfortable with the champion itself. I'm assuming that Steelback is Cedrian, who is in Faculty's normal AD carry. Perhaps a Smurf or something, not entirely sure what's going on there, but obviously I'll probably message somebody again and make sure, because it's going to be weird if we're calling him Cedrian if it is actually a sub.
Sounds legit enough, but we do have LBF kind of waiting in the wings there to possibly look for a binding or some kind of cheeky play on a Sigu here. Gonna get the auto attack binding. He waits a long time, gets it, but gets 10 gold, so I guess we call that worth it. Gets the minor lead in the lane. That'll help him out quite a bit, and even gonna force Sigu back, I guess. So interestingly enough, the harass worked out, and no crazy invades. And we're going to wait to see where the junglers want to gank first. Ko very aggressive. Alex Itch on the top lane. Yasuo too. Something to be very scared of, especially if you're a Shyvana. But Shyvana can't push him out early on. And the wind wall's pretty much ineffective against most of Shyvana's kit besides the Dragon Breath.
Ooh.
And there's the late invade. We saw this in the second game of SK Prime versus Keatstars. And this blue buff is just going to be stolen away fairly simply. Smite comes out. And Ko's going to make his way over towards possibly opposing blue buff and maybe going to go for that steal with the help of his team.
Yeah, so that was a tactic that Keed used in the first game, and we are going to have the lane switch up. So once again, of course, it was BRT that ran Kog'Maw in the previous best of 3, and they went for the lane switch up as well. Didn't quite pay off for them in the end, but this is going to allow Kog'Maw to get some free farm, which is exactly what he needs. Last time as well, BRT went for an early Triforce first. I'm very curious to see if Steelback / Cedrion is going to do the same, or if he's going to go for the Blade of the Rune King.
I want to say Steelback can go for the Blade of the Rune King, but Trinity Force is pretty much staple on Kog'Maw lately, so we'll have to see. He'll get a free lane to himself to farm as well. Alex and Ko are just farming with the opposing jungle, as so did Obvious and Pronbear, so nothing crazy going to happen with these lanes. They're just going to keep soaking up XP from each other, and a Draven that gets free farm against a Kog'Maw that gets free farm, I kind of want to say once Draven gets those crits, Kog'Maw's going to have a pretty rough time, but, you know, Draven can still get outranged, so that comes to effect, but those rolling axes, just so scary. You just have to always be mindful of them.
Yeah, that is a good point, you know, it's easy enough for us to say, oh, Kog'Maw's getting free farm, but on the flip side, as you say, Draven is also getting free farm, although he did just miss that cannon creep, which is going to be a bit of a pain in the backside for him. I'm sure that hurts. Teleport to top lane from Alex. So he has.
There's 4 members. Uh oh.
Yeah. There's 4 members he's going to be running into. Nice wind wall blocks off the death sentence. That should buy him up enough time. Cocoon did not connect. So Alex and Voidal will be okay. That is Voidal, by the way, spelled backwards.
Oh.
It's a bit of a strange one. But yeah, Voidal at support on an IP.
I was calling you El Diab.
El Diab.
Well, it's okay. But that gank, that was a perfect win by Alex. Definitely needed to be perfect on that or he would have died. Binding connects on obvious though. And it's going to be the gank in here. He's going to repel down onto Ko. He's going to flash back, go towards the lantern, take it. And he actually gets out. So, well played. That was some fancy footwork.
Repel onto Lee Sin, flash onto Dark Passage, picks it up and survives. That was awesome from Obvious. And
look at that. Look at those little mics. Little mics that come out when you try to catch the X. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's an awesome skin, I've got to say. So I've got it myself, actually. It's a lot of fun to play with. But so far, let's have a look at it. 25 to 23 CS, pretty much even. But you can see now that Cogmore is in a 2v2 lane. Alex and Voidal are going to be facing off against him and Mountain. So it's going to leave it in a 1v1 at bot lane between Shyvana and Draven.
Alright, so gonna let Voidal and Alex get the XP that they can in this lane. He's gonna dash forward. They have Ko here. Uh-oh.
Not looking too good for them. Flash out there from Cogmore, but Alex is still giving chase. Heal's also been used. Probably doesn't want to get the second Q. And the tower!
Wow.
Do just about enough damage. No, Q somehow survives by the skin of his teeth, safeguarding to a minion. And lots of action. Yeah, that was.
That was so close. He actually flashed before the second turret shot could charge, and just gets out of there. And then both Steelback and Mountain had to flash to escape, so they were like, "Oh, we can't secure this kill." It would have definitely helped them out a lot if they could pick the first blood there. Well played by Mountain though, getting that death sentence to pull him back into the turret. But nonetheless, we're gonna have a gank on a Freeze here, who's solo farming on Draven, and might be in some trouble.
Cocoon doesn't plan because Flash was utilised, and also important to mention that all 4 summoners were burnt from the top lane of the faculty, so there's no heal, no flashes, or an exhaust. Whereas on the flip side, I believe it was a flash from Ku, and that was about it that was burnt for NIP.
Yep. So it's going to be a nice free push down here, but Alex is there. He did rotate down from top, very smart rotation from him. He's going to get a huge wave of farm and extend his lead over Prawn Bear. Freeze, now rotating up to join Voidal. But this is going to be an early dragon attempt here from N Faculty.
It is, and I think they're going to get it as well. Yeah, indeed. So no one's going to come looking, and N Faculty do pick up the first objective of the game, as least obvious will secure that one for them. Top lane, actually. Again, you can see now that the duo lanes have both come up. So Freeze has had enough of solo farming. He's going to allow Alex to go to bot lane now and deal with that one, and that leaves Cogmore and also Mountain having to go back.
Okay, so Obvious has a little bit of a lead over Ko in that regard. I don't know what I just said there, but he's trying to get some extra XP from the lane. He wants to start rushing it up, trying to extend his level lead over Ko, which is currently there. The blue buff did respawn though, so I'm going to toss it over to Power of Evil and help him out in mid. He actually has quite a decent lead over Orianna, which is nice. 10 CS at this point is nothing to put behind you, so props to him. Keeps the farm going. They're both going to be building towards their Athenes, and just going to be looking to wave clear non-stop. This is like what we saw in the last set, where Waterfox and Suno, all they did was just farm, keep it passive, and then shockwaves were huge, and wild growths always matter. So it just comes down to the team fighting stage for those two. And probably going to see just ganks in the top and bot side for the most part of this game. Ganking mid lane, still very hard for both these junglers.
Yeah, plenty of ways to escape from both Sigurd and Power of Evil. You can see Bulgewater Cutlass was finished off from Cogmore, so that has somewhat gone some way to answering our question. It would suggest Blade of the Ruined King will be the first item locked in for him. But you can see Draven starting to assert some of that dominance in lane, where Cogmore and Thresh can't really afford to get too close because there's just so much damage from those spinning axes.
So we come to that point where just gonna be farming, poking, and looking back and forth. Triple Doran's blade was picked up by Freeze, while a Cutlass was picked up by Steelback. So Freeze gonna have that 9% life steal. It's pretty interesting to see the variation in the builds. And he'll have quite a bit of sustain. You know, the Whirling Axes do proc the life steal, and he's able to get that extra bit of sustain out of that. The junglers are finishing up their second clear of buffs here. And where are they going to go is the real question. You know, Elise could go up top. Freeze doesn't have Flash, so could keep that in mind. But Voidal does have his Flash and Exhaust, so could look for a counter on that. Alex versus Prawn Bear, though. He's got to be careful because Prawn Bear did pick up that Chain Vest, so the crits aren't hitting as hard, and he just eats a bunch of damage in response either way. And I think now that the junglers are 6, it's more possible that we could see Ko gank, look for maybe a flash kick or some fancy kind of maneuver like that. But it's just going to be a very slow, progressive game towards the mid/late stage where they actually will start grouping and start fighting. But Obvious is making his way down towards bot, so we could see a potential dive.
Yeah, Alex does land the Steel Tempest, but doesn't want to follow that one up, which probably worked to his benefit because, as you say, Obvious did come down to bot lane. But these kind of compositions suggest it's going to be farming to start and then explosions in the mid game. There's a lot of burst, there's a lot of AoE CC kind of champions on the board as well. And Obvious could find himself a successful gank onto Alex, who has to flash away. There's the flash and repel as well. They're going to be giving chase. This should be first blood. Obvious will be picking that one up for his team. And in fact, will be starting off well.
Alright, so really good job to them to get that dive and notice the weakness that Alex has, but the cleanup here, the Power of Evil flashes. Can he get the... Yes, he can. Wow. Nice job by the Power of Evil to respond with that Lulu Glitter Lance kill.
Yeah, very nicely done. Flashing in, getting the kill, and equaling it up. Also did actually stop the bottom tower push as well, so doubly effective from Power of Evil. Mid tower took a bit of damage, but nothing too serious. And Dragon's up in about 1 minute 50, so more than likely what I'm expecting to see is just a lot of farming until potentially getting a pick onto Dragon, but top lane is just honestly turning into a farming frenzy here.
Yeah, so the lead is in the favor of Freeze, though, so when a Draven gets ahead, it's kind of hard to stop him from being ahead unless you kill him. Destinus comes through, but there's the Black Shield, and that's just the response that Morgana has to everything you want to do. Slow, stun, hook, Black Shield. He's fine. And that just guarantees that Freeze will be able to just keep on farming up. But there is a bit of an aggressive invade coming in from Lisa and Lulu. They're looking for the deeper wards. And there was a response from Sigu as he's roaming. It looks like he might go towards top and make it a 3v2.
Well, they're actually backing on off, so they're not too interested about going to top just yet. They're just lurking around, trying to catch Obvious out of place. And here comes Ku right now, but Obvious with the repel is a bit too slippery to lock down and get the kill on. Meanwhile, at bot lane, now that Alex did get killed, he's managed to get himself an Avarice Blade. He's going to have some gold income either way. And yeah, this is kind of what we're expecting. Lots of farming, lots of toing and throwing, but it's really going to be in the, I'd say, 20 to 25 minute mark where things start to hot up in this game.
Alright, and it looks like Steelback is actually a sub, so we're good to know.
It is a sub, okay.
Yes.
That answers questions then.
Alright, and as the progression of items come through, it's going to be a BF Sword for Freeze. I feel like Infinity's Edge Rushes is what we're going to see out of the big X Bloodthirster builders. I think that's more of the route to go. It may take a little bit longer, but it feels like it's a little bit more worth it since they did buff the damage too on the item from 70 to 80. So with Rolling Axes and that damage buff, you're going to be critting for a crap ton of damage, and you're going to have to be very, very careful. Alex is just playing a little bit safer down here too. When Prawn Bear does move up, he's like, I don't want to get ganked by Obvious, but Obvious is here, and they're going to go for round 2. Possibly.
They are. It looks likely. Question is, will Alex fall for this one again? He doesn't have a ward down. He has no idea that Obvious is here, but you can see him backing on off. He's like, okay, yeah, I read the script. This has happened once. I'm not going to fall for it twice. Although, this is very patient from Obvious. He hasn't seen Yasuo in a while, and he's still stayed in this bush.
He saw him. Oh boy.
Oh dear. That's so patient from Obvious though.
They ping.
If this...
Oh,
Oh, they are going to go in. Dragon's Descent. Cocoon also lands. Remember, Alex did burn his flash last time around. So this looks like it could be a kill. There
Whoa.
we go. And it's Obvious that takes it down again. Ku comes down by his lonesome. He does have Lulu in hot pursuit as well. So Power of Evil and Ku could make this one work. But nope, the Sonic Wave does actually miss. Now turning their attention onto Pron there, who's going into no man's land. He has a lot of movement speed, but does get caught in the backside from the Q. 3 levels disadvantage for Ku, but there is the wild growth. Finally, Oriana starts to move himself down. That's going to be Sigu, but with the burnout speed from Prombear, he should be A-okay here.
yeah, very fast, Giovanna, base movement speed. What was weird though is Alex, they kind of disengaged on him. Pronbear backed off as well, and then he dashed back in with his E, and Alex, I think he might have been able to live there. But I'm not too sure, but he did end up dying either way. Good job to Obvious to snag that second kill. Dragon goes down, and now we're seeing in Faculty, they're getting a decent lead here, and second Dragon, 2 kills. Just need a turn, and they'll have one of everything. The first of everything, at least. And once again, this top lane, it's ever so slowly. Freeze, getting a rough 30 CS over Steelback.
Yeah, and Faculty, one of their main strengths is... there is some action at top, but again, Black Shield will be basically just stopping Thresh from doing anything to the AD carry. And Faculty are renowned for being very good with their objective control, and they've lived up to that hype once again in this game. Both dragons to them, and it hasn't even been close. They've just completely caught NIP unawares.
Alright, so let me see. I'm going to take a quick look at the gold tallies here. 3,000 for the Power of Evil. For when he goes back, so he'll have a Chalice, or maybe just rush straight up into a needlessly large rod and try to go Death Cap. Freeze is sitting at 1,400, everybody else is just a little bit lower than that. Sigu, he went back, so he's sitting on 1,000 gold himself. So he finished up that Athenes and Holy Grail. Buffs respawning, and Jungler is going to be looking to make their routes as Ko was heading up towards top, but he actually might look to commit to this as... Obvious may spell something out as well, so gonna hang it around towards that top side.
Freeze is really putting the hammer down though. Look at that CS difference.
Oh!
And they're going to be going behind their tower. The safeguard into Dragon's Rage
Whoa.
will secure the kill for Freeze, who manages to stack himself 720 gold. Here comes a re-engage though. Prombear, the Dragon's Descent, jumps on in. He is going to be zoning away Freeze and Voidal. This is going to buy up enough time though. But here comes Alex with the last breath. Does smash down. But the actual kill goes in, and it will be Lee Sin falling. So 1-for-1 trade so far.
That was highly worth it for Nip, because Freeze got the kill. 720 plus gold from that. Uh-oh, they might look to re-engage here. Nope. Throw the ball in for the protect. Not looking for a shockwave, but back to my point. Freeze just got 1,000 plus gold for that kill. So he is sitting pretty at 2,600 gold in his inventory. He could just go straight to Infinity's Edge right now.
And that's why letting Draven farm is quite terrifying, because once he does cash the gold in, you know, he's now going to be able to go back and pick up Infinity Edge if he wants, if that's the way he wants to go with his build. In fact, he's going to stay around and keep this tower alive for longer, so just getting even more gold.
So crazy. Draven can be so greedy. He's like high risk, high reward, like you have to go up to get that kill. But there's Voidal being a little cheeky and stopping Prime from backing. And with that first back coming in from Freeze, what is it gonna be? As we, well, no, he's not backing. He stopped it. Stop farming, man. Just, I want to see what item you pick up. But Sigu's getting some nice free farm in the mid lane. He's getting some good damage on the turret as well, taking it down well below half. And Alex, he's actually gonna be able to pick up the first turret of the game here if he doesn't back off. Drops a ward for some safety, spots it obvious, and he does not want to fight Alex right now. So just backs on off and pretty much just gives up the first turret.
Yeah, even though Alex has died twice, he's still playing aggressive. He's still forcing back Shyvana and has the CS advantage over 20. It's going to somewhat dissipate now that the wave is pushing and Alex is moving himself back. But still, he's doing a phenomenally good job. Whereas that is going to be an Infinity Edge, finished off on Draven already with 3 Doran's Blades. Cogmore cannot go close, but he does have his Blade of the Rune King finished, which is going to keep himself sustained up that little bit more.
Oh boy, so that 1 in 4 chance to proc a crit. He's got 200 damage. He's got 9% lifesteal. Straven's looking pretty scary to anybody without armor or health. So Steelback and Mountain have to be very, very careful. It looks like Freeze is going to be picking up this wave that just comes out of the bot lane after a nice push from Prawn Bear. And Prawn Bear looking to rotate around, maybe get some deep wards. He doesn't have any wards, unfortunately, so heads on off to his merry way to, I guess, farm the jungle a little bit. That mid tier 1 turret, though, is very, very low, so Faculty should be looking to target that out. As well as Steelback and Mountain have been just doing a phenomenal job just farming up top despite their lead, and despite that one death that they do have. And that wind wall can't block the chain, though, as it was used.
Oh, Death Sentence does connect, and Alex will be dying again, but the kill went onto Mountain, which is far from ideal. Still, though, Alex will be dead. Q lands from Q, and they are playing very aggressively. Top tower will fall, though, to Faculty, so another objective to them. Meanwhile, NIP will go in, Shockwave lands on both, and Freeze for as much damage as he has. If you get caught from that, you are 6 foot under. Although he survives at the cost of Lee Sin's life, but he will have to back away. Nice Shockwave from Sigu.
That was an even better disengage, though, from Freeze, because he used his stand aside to knock Prawn Bear as soon as he Dragon's ascended, so they disengage, but not well enough. Ko will fall, and so will this tier 1 in the mid lane, so all the tier 1s are now gone currently for the side of Nip and Faculty. Very, very early strong showing here, as 30 seconds left on Dragon. They could just look to rotate towards that and secure that objective for their team, as they already have the first one.
Yeah, NIP, Ninjas in Pyjamas are starting to hemorrhage objectives, 23 seconds on Dragon, and then Faculty again trying to maintain their ward coverage. So, going into this next Dragon, they should be in pretty good shape now. They've just gone back. Look at that Elise, though. 4-1 has already finished off the Locket of the Iron Solari. So tanky.
So very tanky at this point. Alex is kind of just becoming that proxy Yasuo, where he just feeds and makes sure his gold value isn't that high, and then just takes turrets while he's not valued as much. The Dragon has respawned, and it looks like Faculty are already starting it up. They're clearing out wards with their wards in the pit, so will Ko be able to steal it, just like Broken Shard? Looks like the answer is no, as he doesn't even attempt to go for a Smite steal. And the second Dragon of the game, over to Faculty.
Picking these ones up thick and fast, that is going to translate into nearly 4,000 gold advantage to Faculty. 3 kills up. And again, Alex, he's playing very aggressively, but he's trying to do similar to what the Fox did at the end of his Yasuo game, and that split push, and try and draw over a couple players to the lane that he's facing, and that alleviates pressure elsewhere on the map. Unfortunately, though, Alex hasn't reached the stage of being able to 1v1 or duel people because he's died so many times, so that's going to have to change. Maybe when the Blade of the Rune King's finished off, as he does have the Bilgewater Cutlass, he'll be able to do just that.
And when I look at the gold totals again, Freeze is currently sitting on 1,000. I wonder if he's going to go like Last Whisper, or like... I feel like he should get some form of lifesteal, even if it's the new Bloodthirster, but I don't think he will. And Steelback going towards, I guess, a PD or a Static Shiv. Could be still, a Trinity Force like we have seen the last few games. And Faculty still holding on to this mid-tier 1, even though it is still dangerously low. Could fall down in a few more autos. They look for Steelback. They can't find the Sonic Wave, though. Teleport is used in response, but they're just going to back off, so he cancels the teleport. And that'll put it on a swift cooldown.
Yeah, does cancel that one out, so they weren't fully committed to chasing Cogmore there, as Power of Evil has been spotted momentarily from Faculty. He will back away. So with both teams having a substitute, you'd think maybe their synergy isn't quite up to scratch. Obviously, Exile has not been playing for NIP, and Cedrian is not playing for Faculty. But so far in Faculty, they've been making this one work for them. They're playing very well.
They are playing very well right now, especially against Nip, too. Nip is a very, very strong team at this point. They do find a slow, though, on a Sigu. Chasing it down all the way. Ko gets in.
He does flash out from Sigu almost instantly, and Obvious should be alright as well. But that flash not being on Sigu is certainly going to be sending alarm bells to him. He can't be afforded to get caught out again, otherwise he could very well be punished for that mistake. And again, look at Faculty. This is where they're going to start to bunch up together and try and force home this mid tower potentially.
Yeah, Shockwave's up. They have all their ultimates. And they could just look to apply this pressure. So as they go for this push, they get some wards out. They spot out Alex on the side, but the Whirling Death clears out most of that wave and wields it on him for just a little bit longer. They found a pink ward too to clear up his constellation. Promber though, maybe gonna get initiated out here? No, he's got the lantern to pull himself out if anything. And we're back to that little stalemate where everybody kind of hanging around towards mid. They want to look for the picks if they can. Ko definitely needs to find the perfect Sonic Wave for Zing Strike to just kick Steel back in, or Segu, the two prime targets for him. If he kicks in Mountain or anybody else, they have severe counter engage potential, and even if the ball's on them too, that Shockwave's gonna be so deadly. Very, very big at this point, Segu. He's 30 CS ahead of his opponent. He's got the Death Cap and the Athenians, and he's definitely got the ball rolling.
Yeah, certainly has. Also, must have quite a bit of gold on him. Yeah, just shy of 800, 1.6k for Shyvana, 1.5 for Kog'Maw, so much of them are sat on quite a considerable amount of money, and Ziggy just clearing out the wave. And this is the part in the game where I was expecting fireworks and explosions to happen. It may very well just need to take a few more minutes. It's simmering right now, it's getting to a boiling point. A lot of the key members on both sides are getting a lot of items. Blade of the Rune King's finished off now on Alex, and this is the point where I said he could start to afford to duel and really split push this one home. So I think that's exactly what he wants to do. Is just split push all day, draw out 2 players, and allow the rest of his team to go ahead and push objectives.
Alright. So those objectives definitely need to take down that tier 1 mid. It's been staying alive for a little too long at this point. Freeze is just going to man up, just throw the auto attacks in, doesn't want to get hit by the death sentence. And soon it'll go down. He'll sustain off of the minions. And with his team, they should be able to just brute force this. And he actually picked up the Zeal too, so it looks like this Infinity's Edge rush into a Shiv is a thing to do nowadays. With the Bloodthirster nerfs. More changes. People are starting comfortable with the new Bloodthirster. There is a bit of a flank though coming in from Prawn Bear, so they have to be very careful and mindful of his position. As End Faculty could just follow up pretty easily on that. He sweeps out but doesn't find any wards, and Alex doing the thing. He's just going to look to keep on split pushing away.
And if someone doesn't deal with this, he is going to take towers down pretty quickly. He's backing away now because he doesn't have a great deal of vision at his disposal. And yeah, this is smart play. However, Lee Sin is also moving into position himself, so they're trying to return this one back around once again. But nope, Kog'Maw and Thresh are enough to keep this tower alive. But that's what I'm talking about. If Alex keeps doing this another 2, 3, 4 times, at some point that tower will fall for free.
Alright. So he goes back, he picks up his Merc Treads, he's got 90 gold left. He's not going to have an Infinity's Edge for any fights coming up. So has to be very careful. We're going to keep doing his split pushing thing. Red buff gets tossed over to Seal back. He's building towards his Trinity Force, so matching that up with the Blade of the Rune King. Supports haven't really talked too much about them. You know, Frost Queen's Claim, Heart of the Mountain, or Face of the Mountain, excuse me, for Mountain himself. Going to be looking to shield up his teammates. He's looking for a Mikhail's as well as his second item. And Dragon is currently live, so End Faculty just want to keep forcing that objective and taking it. This is their third one. If they can get it, they do kick Sigu out.
Yeah, kicking Sigu out though, that's not really going to do anything. And now Ku will fall, so Dragon and a kill make that 2 kills very shortly. Alex will be falling, double kill for Sigu. So great farm and a couple kills to boot. And that was a questionable play for my money on Ku. All he did was kick Sigu kind of to safety, and then from there on it was easy to place the ball and get that shockwave roaring. So 15 seconds on Ku, 25 seconds on Alex, and they're actually pinging towards the Baron.
That was very well played by End Faculty. I'm not sure why Ko went in, but he just kicked Sigu. And now they're going to look to keep on this Baron. They might look to actually this turn here, but they're just sustaining it perfectly fine, not taking too much damage. Mountain ends up missing all of his CC. They do a bunch of damage to him, but this Baron should fall and should go over to End Faculty. There it goes. As they now chase on a Power of Evil, they won't be able to catch up with a Whimsy. And End Faculty, very, very strong showing against Nip here.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent to a few days ago where NIP did end up losing to H2K 2-0. I'm sure they're going to want to put a break on this one. Of course, that wasn't the Challenger Summer Series. But unfortunately for them, without Exile, they seem kind of caught in 2 minds for me. They seem to lack that conviction and that kind of synergy going forward and making those big plays. Now, it's not to blame Power of Evil, who has been a substitute a number of times for NIP over the past, but still, they seem to be lacking something for me, EGAD, and they're not really putting all of their cohesion together for the same targets. It's like Ku goes off and does his own thing, Alex is doing his own thing, and in doing so, they don't really focus anyone down.
So what you mean is they're playing like solo queue right now.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the way it feels to me.
Alright, well, we'll see if they can pull their act together. Meanwhile, Alex up top, doing his thing again. Prombear is there with Dragon's Descent.
Oh, that's a lot of damage as well from Prombear. Oh my goodness, he's absolutely chunking Alex, and he has to use the Steel Tempest just to escape. There's a long way to go for Alex to get back to Sanctuary, especially when the flash comes in. He's doing his best to buy up enough time for Lee, but that's just nowhere near enough time, and he does fall. 5 deaths now on Alex. Very uncharacteristic for him.
Very uncharacteristic indeed, but 0-5, his laning was a little poor, but with all the split pushing, he found a marginal CS lead over Prombear, and Ku gonna be able to get out. They're just gonna face tank up this tier 2 turret. That's a very ballsy play by End Faculty. Binding connects, and this turret's gonna go down. Obvious is huge. Locket and Ancient Golem as well as Sunfire Cape. Holy cow. And with the changes to Locket too, it'll give them their level worth of a shield. So that's actually pretty cool.
He's a big spider right now. And with the Baron buff as well, they get the health regen on top of everything else. So they can afford to do exactly what they're doing right now. And with Kog'Maw having the Triforce and the Blade of the Rune King, he does have quite a bit of attack speed on him. So they are chunking through these towers. And again, you see NIP, they're lost. They're not too sure what to do. Do we go? Do we stay? This tower is very low, so they can't afford to be too aggressive.
Yeah, they have to play it very defensive right now. They pick up a pickaxe onto Freeze, so looking for his last whisper. They find a Sonic Wave, they give the shield a Cove, but he's not going to go in. What? There's a teleport behind.
Oh, Cocoon lands on the black shield though, so Alex is going to be alright. And that pretty much signifies the end of that brief engage. However, the tower's days are numbered and it will be falling as well. So End Faculty really starting to turn the knife. They haven't got an inhibitor tower yet, and that for me is the saving grace for NIP. They can stall this one out.
It's not over till the inhibitors all fall. Or the Nexus for that matter, but gonna keep on holding out. They have a tier 2 left up top. They could just look to secure that one and make it a 6-3 in turret lead, but they're playing it still. They're playing it at a good pace that they want to play it at. And not letting themselves get picked or poked out too hard. Using that Baron regen if they do. They do find Sigu and they kick him and they get it.
Okay, gonna be going in. Alex going in by his lonesome though, and he instantly gets chunked. That was a shockwave just for him, but they'll take that one. 6 deaths for him now. And with a 40-second cooldown timer on his life, they're going to look to push in towards this middle tower, and look at how quickly it's falling as well. That's going to be the inhibitor for sure, and there's nothing NIP can do about this.
I'm not too sure why they even followed up on that, or why they even went in on that, but they end up just giving Alex away for a free kill. That was a questionable call, but either way, they only lose one, they still hold off, and the inhibitor goes down nonetheless. So Superman's going to be freed up to go over there. Dragon in 50 seconds, Baron's going to be respawning in a couple minutes, so keep an eye out for that. And with that middle inhibitor down, they could just go for either the bot or the top tier 2.
Yeah,
choice is theirs.
No, it's strange to me, Egad, because that play, kind of in a nutshell, is what I was talking about with the solo queue thing. Alex went in by himself, he dies, and then they're screwed. And I also can't really figure out why. You're against a team that's a lot stronger than you. Going all in by yourself is never ever going to work out. So, yeah, 15 seconds on Dragon, and Faculty more than likely going to pick this one up with ease as well, and escalate their gold advantage further ahead. 10,000 right now, and soon to be a whole lot more.
Alright. So, Free's still farming up. He finished his last Whisper, so that's a big power spike for him. Gonna negate pretty much all the tankiness. Not almost all of it. Almost quite a bit of the tankiness from Prombear and Obvious. They're looking to go for the easier route to avoid tier 2 up top and push down bot here. They'll get some deep rewards, and they'll look to just keep on trucking through to push. Steal back. Let's see. His build has progressed to almost the last whisper. He's got his Trinity Force and his Blade of the Ring King. So, still down 30 CS and a kill, but he's got those 5 assists, so kind of playing the support Kog'Maw in the long-range artillery and shredding role. He's doing a good job on that.
The problem is for me, if you look at the 2 Yasuo games that we've casted so far today, I will hold that thought for a second because I thought there was going to be an engage from NIP. They're still looking hungry for this. Yeah, Ku's going really aggressive, but look at that poke. That's just like a couple of abilities, and Ku's health vanishes before his eyes, and now they have to back away. And Shaban is now pushing top lane pretty much uncontested. But you look at the previous game, they had like Gragas and Zyra to engage. On NIP right now, it's either going to be a Dark Binding from Voidal or a Steel Tempest into Last Breath, or maybe Ku gets behind, but that's it. And if none of that lands, they can't engage, and that's kind of the problem they're having now. They're being choked out slowly.
They are being choked out slowly, so it's going to be the long-range siege battle for quite a while. Prombear can do what he pleases and go where he pleases. Voidal takes a bunch of damage from just the resonance. Half his HP gone. The damage from Power of Evil, he obviously doesn't care. He just throws it at Kun in response. They respond with their own poke. And this is going to be the slow, inevitable push, it feels like. Unless the team fight goes really, really well for Nip, they're going to end up losing this inhibitor turret, and maybe even Alex Lich can't contest Prombear, so this turret goes down and the inhibitor looks to be next, and the mid lane, an Nexus turret falls to a super minion.
This just doesn't seem any communication to me right now. They're kind of running around in circles.
Wow.
Look at that damage on Freeze! Oh my god, that was ridiculous. And he has the flash. That's going to be another inhibitor falling, and that was just a 1-2 combo. There's a Last Breath. Here is an engage, but it's too little too late. There's too many items on the side of Faculty, and they instantly turn it back around with the shockwave, taking down 2 players. In fact, Ku's still alive for a few more seconds. There we go. He will fall, and that should be game number 1 going to Faculty.
Alright, so strong performance from them. This Nexus turret going to fall, the Nexus going to follow suit. And GG's come through as it was an underwhelming performance from Alex and Ku, as they had the most deaths on their side. They tried to split push. Alex tried to split push a lot. It did work out in the farm aspect, but just the kills he gave up kind of hurt a little bit. And Ku, just that Lee Sin didn't really work out too well for him. He farmed up pretty well as well, but just the ganks really weren't coming through for him. So we're going to go to a break, and we come back. We'll have the second game of this set. It could be